It's yet another wonderful Wednesday evening where we get to host a couple of guests. We get to discuss different issues that affect us as individuals and as Kenyans. And on the show today, the Speak Up Show, where ideas do matter, we're talking about the Nyumba Kumi community policy, which the government is proposing to implement to try and curb security issues. And on the show today, I have my two wonderful guests. I have Madam Kumi, who is the chief Gasharoro area, and I have Ms. Nzuhula, who is the head of research at Security Group of Companies. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Karibuni sana. I take this chance, ladies and gentlemen, to give our guests the chance to introduce themselves. We'll go first.
My name is Nzuhula, a senior researcher at Secrets, and we are looking at the concept of Nyumba Kumi, religious solution for Kenya.
I am Kumi Mwangi, the chief Gasharoro area, and I deal with matters of interest to the Gasharoro community people.
Thank you. Now, just a brief description of the Nyumba Kumi community policy. For those of us who might not really understand what it is, it's the idea where you get houses which are clustered in 10 households, which get to choose a leader who is going to be dealing with probably issues that arise from that particular household. Now, straight to the idea has been brought about by the Cabinet Secretary, Joseph Olelenku, and straight to the questions that I will be having to our guests. First of all, Ms. Nzuhula, what do you understand by Nyumba Kumi policy?
In my opinion, and the research that I've been carrying out about the Nyumba Kumi concept, I think Nyumba Kumi concept will be a recipe for dictatorship, because if you look at the best how Nyumba Kumi came into being, it was a colonial kind of ruling thing, because it is where it was geared towards manipulation of people's rights. Where if I have to go somewhere, I have to let the administration know I'm going here. You know, the Kipande system. It was all. It came up as a Nyumba Kumi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe to Madam Chief.
To me, the Nyumba Kumi initiative, I would describe it as a move to better the society we are living in. Because when the government came up with the whole idea of putting up Nyumba Kumi, 10 households being led by one leader, it was to initiate communicate in the society. 10 people know each other, know the whereabouts of everyone, and reduce security, because that's why Mr. Olelenku brought it to place. So I think it's just an initiative to better the society for a better tomorrow.
Madam Chief, what's your take on it being implemented in urban areas? Because I understand probably within the villages might be easier, I'm not really sure, but what do you think of implementing the same in urban areas?
That's a good question. In urban areas, I know it will crop up more slowly than the rural areas, because mostly in urban places, people shift more often. Today someone is in Kasarani, tomorrow he's in Kilelesho or something. But the initiative, it's meant to be a long-term solution. But for the moment you just know, day by day, you just know the people around you, the 10 households, choose one leader who will voluntarily be chosen by the 10 households. I think it will be in a better position to curb the insecurity and other difficulties we have.
Okay, Madam Nzuhula, the question of it being implemented within urban areas, what's your take on that? Because in my opinion, probably think it would be easier implementing it in rural areas. What's your take?
In my opinion, in urban areas, it really can't work. People are normally busy. Like, I wake up and in the morning, I go, I come back late, so I don't have time to go and knock in at my neighbor's door asking, who are you, what do you do? I don't think it will work.
And I think if only the people living in towns will know the seriousness of this matter, because you just read the percentage, insecurity is more in urban areas. So why should you not? I mean, everyone needs the Nyumba Kumi initiative. So I think if only the people knew the seriousness, you just put your level of education, your social status down, and you just embrace this, know your neighbor, just be your brothers and sisters keeper. It will be good, and we'll see the results in the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, probably just food for thought. This question goes to both of you. has any of you taken the initiative to know their neighbors? Or if someone else moves into probably a block that you're living in, do you take that initiative to actually go and know their names or maybe anything else?
Sharon, you're actually going to someone's house knocking and asking them, what is your name? Where are you coming from? Why have you moved here? That is, I think it is intrusion of privacy. Because I don't think that is really nice, going to someone's house just asking some random questions. You don't know them. If you, I think most of us, what you do, if you are in a good relationship with your neighbor, you have stayed with them like for a while, like for years, not like someone has just moved in next door and then you are there and you are asking questions. It is not right. It is intrusion of privacy.
I would hold a different opinion on that because you see, it's irony. You will not care of who your latest neighbor is, but you see, because you have everything you need. But in times of crisis, let's say you lose a relative or even a family friend, you know, you'll go out dishing leaflets to those neighbors you never want to know because you want them to come to your matanga or even your funeral. You get the essence of this because the Nyumba Kumi initiative is to have unity, and there's no way I can come help you as a neighbor and I don't know you. So we first know each other, you know where we come from, know what to do for a living, and later even when in times of crisis, we can help each other.
Just before, I would like us to go back to the issue about crisis. I would like this to ask a question. Within the 10 households that are created, in the Nyumba community policy, that particular leader that you elect, with the current VAT systems that we have now, everyone is being taxed a high amount. Where are we going to get that particular amount of money to pay these people? Are we going to pay them, or is it volunteer? Do they just volunteer?
Personally, I would say, since the government formulated, there haven't been plans to pay the heads of the Nyumba Kumi initiative, because the Nyumba Kumi initiative, it was just like just some simple rules just to guide how people live. But the choosing of the Nyumba Kumi head, it was not that this person should be paid, because this person is there for the benefit of the 10 households. That's why you sit down as 10 households, you choose it's Baba Fulani who will be the head of this team. So it will be like assisting, it's just that he's just the one who will take action, who will, for example, if there is a crime or even some conflict within the Nyumba Kumi, he's the one to take charge to go and report to the relevant authorities. He's not paid.
What's your take on that? Is he supposed to be paid? He or she is supposed to be paid?
Yeah, in my opinion, they should be paid, because this is like you are an informer to the government. The government will not be doing the things that you are doing. It's like you are trying to intrude into someone's privacy. You know everything about your neighbor, what they do, everything. So I think because you will be acting like informer to the government, you should be paid for that. Because if it is voluntary task, you will find out that like people who hold my opinion that this concept should not be implemented in Kenya. You will find that in our neighborhood there will be nothing like Nyumba Kumi. So
just
yeah.
before we go to probably particular areas, probably where you come from, where she comes from. Your idea is that they are supposed to be paid, the leaders.
Yeah.
Where do we get this amount of money that we are supposed to pay these people with?
No, I think that is up to government, because they are the one who came up with the concept of Nyumba Kumi. They are the ones also to provide the funds to pay them.
Okay. Back to the question about crisis. You talked of something very interesting, that we find that we run to our neighbors when in crisis. Now, the whole issue about the Nyumba Kumi community policy came about immediately after the Westgate attack. Now, in that light, is the Kenya administration, the government, is it reactive or is it proactive? And what do you think on the issue that they are bringing this issue now and not probably when we had some other issues before?
I think we cannot say that the Kenyan government is reluctant or maybe reacting to insecurity issues, because I thought if we had the Nyumba Kumi before, maybe those people who attacked Westgate, they were in that premises for 4 months ago. So if that thing was implemented maybe 2 years ago, so definitely their neighbors could have known we have aliens here and this is what they're going to, they plan on doing some months later.
Madam Chief, probably just to preface, I want to maybe get your opinion on that it's proposing to implement that policy now, immediately after the Westgate attack. What's your take on that? Is it reacting to the terror attack, or is it a plan that has been there but it's not, And remember that it was there before, then it was scrapped out. So yeah.
I would say, yeah, it is a plan which was there, then it ended for some time. Now it's back because maybe we'll say because the Westgate attack brought the government thinking we have a whole issue of insecurity pending in Kenya. So I think reacting to that, Nyumba Kumi right now, it will better the security state of the country maybe 10 years and 20 years from today. So I think if it should be implemented from now henceforth, it should be for the better of us all.
What do you have to say about the same issue? Do you think the government is reacting simply because of the Westgate attack?
Yeah, the government, I can see it is reacting because of the terror attack, because if it is about the security matters in the country, we've been having little crimes here and there, the normal ones. People broke into banks and other things. But because, why did they not implement it before the Westgate attack?
In your words, would you say the government is sleeping on its job, trying to implement effective security measures in the country? Would you say the government is sleeping on its job?
I wouldn't say the government is sleeping on its job. I would just say the government is trying a policy that I don't think it will work. Yeah.
But now, judging from what has happened before, like we had the Baragoi massacre, we had the Delta, we had issues down Tana River. Do you think the government is implementing this simply because, to quote a report, that it's simply the rich are affected, the elite in the society are affected? Madam Chief.
Definitely no, because when we talk about insecurity issues, especially basing the basis here, the latest, which is Westgate attack, everyone was affected. Because even though you never lost a relative or a friend, you also was affected emotionally in one way or another. And you never know, tomorrow it might be you, tomorrow it might be your family or so. So I think security is an issue which needs to be discussed in a whole. And I think the Nyumba Kumi initiative just covers it all. Because I think if you just know your neighbor, if you just live in unity, you just know 10 people and the other group does that, it will be better because it will be, even though conflicts might arise because you're still human, we're imperfect, they will be better solved rather than having 65 people or 100 people injured, then have the whole issue to solve them. Yeah.
All right. I've got both your ideas, both your opinions about the government not sleeping on its job. Now, I want to understand, now that the government reacted to the Westgate attack, do you think Kenya is a sovereign state, as we claim to be? Because I think probably there's someone who would argue that maybe the government is reacting because Big Brother is watching, or maybe the international community. What's your take on that? What do you have to say about that?
Kenya is a sovereign state, but if it adapt the concept of Nyumba Kumi, I think it will be like dictatorship, kind of, because the Nyumba Kumi, it's like you are forcing people to get into an organization of 10 households, and this is outlawed in our constitution because our constitution states that no person should be compelled to join an organization. That is chapter 36 of our constitution. So I think we should not.
On that issue about forcing people to do things, do you think the government is feeling the pressure from the international community to implement this policy, the community policy, because the international community is there, Big Brother, as we say?
Kenya is trying too hard to impress, I think, the Big Brother so that it can be seen that it is taking an action. I think what it has to do as a country and as a sovereign state just become to look for other ways to,
I think the government is not trying to impress the international community. The government just formulated the Nyumba Kumi initiative for all the good of all Kenyans. And if only Kenyans see the seriousness of this matter, implement it, put it into place, and just see it as their normal day-to-day life, will benefit all of us. Because as she said earlier, I wanted just to add on her point when she said the Nyumba Kumi initiative are not to be paid. Right now it's voluntary because, as you see, issues of security, they affect all of us. You don't choose who will smuggle who the next day. Maybe later the Nyumba Kumi initiative will not only deal with security but other matters. These groups are just as they will even be contributing money for development activities in the society. So the Nyumba Kumi initiative is not just to kill people's rights or just to undermine people's status because people are just different. It's just to bring unity and harmony in the country. Just know the way about to your neighbor and know who he is, how he earns his living, and just know people, and that will play a great role in just living together as Kenyans.
Just before we get back to you, as we wind up, I'd like to take 3 questions from the audience on what you're discussing today, the Nyumba Kumi policing, community policing. Questions? Yes. Please tell us your name and the question.
My question goes to the research personnel here who's talking about the Nyumba Kumi initiative being a bad idea. So what alternative does she have to counter the disadvantages that Nyumba Kumi has as a research firm or as a researcher herself? And the second question would go to our chief here. Nyumba Kumi, is it inclusive of the sociopaths? Because someone can lie straight to your face. Is the Nyumba Kumi initiative, is it knowledgeable of this fact?
Thank you, Ms. Linda. To take the next question, anyone from the audience, before we can get the visitors to answer the questions? Yes, gentleman too. Yes.
Yes. I'm Gerald Muka, and my question is, how do we really determine the 10 houses? In that, should we expect cases like I belong to the other 10, I might not belong to this one? So, how do we really know the 10 houses?
Thank you for the question, Gerald. The last question. Yes.
Thank you. Thuo, my question is to the chief. Okay, I'm asking, what happens in the case of Chief's Fungas? Okay, will you be going to the elder and tell him, I might be going out and I might come with a name, with a girl whose name is not, okay, I may not like to disclose. How will you go about that?
Maybe go straight to Madam Chief. You have quite a number of questions.
Yeah.
I'll go straight to the first question from Linda. That goes to you. She was asking about the psychopaths that you may be having. Lies, people who lie dead to your face. How is the Nyumba Kumi policy going to affect?
When the government brought in the aspect of Nyumba Kumi, it's new that there are various variety of people living, mad people. So if the Nyumba Kumi is not just 10 people roundabout, it's registering. This household has 5 members in this family. You register using their national identity cards. You get information about where they school, where they work, or the kind of places or just the activities people are involved in, and using national identification cards. So when someone lies about maybe his identity, where he is from, we are the Nyumba Kumi initiative, the head of the Nyumba Kumi initiative will be able to see that was counterfeit. And the Nyumba Kumi initiative is not just brought about in 3 days' time. You have to form a group of 10 people, and you have to take a whole month for the head, after choosing the head of the 10 households, to determine if all the information, all information you have is true. That's why you will be registered and keep records of the ongoing process of the Nyumba Kumi initiative.
Straight to Ranzula. Question from Linda again. Now, you seem very pessimistic about the Nyumba Kumi community policing. What's your take on what other probably option, maybe something else that you might give, as a research institute that deals with security, or yourself as a researcher that maybe can help us to counter security threats that we have around us?
Since Nyumba Kumi came up after the Westgate thing, I think the government should ensure that our borders are tight, there's the security there, and the intelligence service should be doing their job. I don't think by having informers in every household, acting like spy masters to the government will be a nice thing. Because if you look at the Nyumba Kumi concept in Rwanda, when it was implemented, it led to a hatred and ethnicity which resulted to genocide. So I think Kenya should really learn from what happened in Rwanda.
What's your proposal? As a researcher, or probably as a member of a research firm?
I would advise the government to just tighten up their security in terms of our borders, and our intelligence service, they should do their work, and they should never ignore any information given by the public about some suspicious individuals.
The second question comes from Gerald Muka, but it's not directed to you, probably Chief. You can tell us this. How do you count 10 households? How are the boundaries between household number 1 and household number 2? How do you go about the counting?
There are no physical boundaries like a fence or something. As I said earlier, the 10 households are registered and names given and identities given. So you know yourself, because there are monthly meetings for the Nyumba initiative to discuss various information they want to pass, any activities they want to engage in. So you'll know yourself, like from, for example, in the towns, they're divided in streets or avenues. So in Avenue 1A, from house 1 to house 10, that's a Nyumba Kumi. Then from there, if you meet, definitely you'll know 10 people. It's a very small number to note, and that's how you know each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
To you again, from the floor.
Okay.
This is a really interesting question about students, and he was asking, how do you go to address, to talk to the household leader about, I have a friend whom I don't know the name, but I might. There's a chance I might come with a friend who I don't know the name. How do you address that?
That is a really critical issue. We're now here putting into place, we are Kenyans, civilized people, and we also have our rights. So the leader of the Nyumba Kumi will not go questioning who are you bringing. You know, it's your own problem. Furthermore, it's your house, it's your food, it's your place of residence. The chief's funga is coming to spend at. So the problem comes in maybe when after a sleepover, you know, people claim that things were stolen, just claim of insecurity or something. So that's why we take a step ahead. But you must inform the leader of the Nyumba Kumi, be coming with someone, and if there is no something bad which will happen, it goes on, because people have their rights for their own.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Chief, for your time, Madam Zula, for such an interesting discussion. I would also like to take this chance to thank the audience for you. You've been an awesome audience. Welcome again next week as we discuss more of this. I've been your host, Saruni, and it's the Pickup Show. And also to those watching at home, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.